Hello, welcome back to another mini session of the art and practice of movement. Before I get started, I want to say that, I do this work with people one-on-one. And it's very powerful to be able to work together intimately, facilitating a space for one to engage more fully with their entire body being and to come with specific needs, whether they're physical, emotional, spiritual, work-related, relationship-related. The body is the source of transformation, of being, of becoming into more wellness and into more being. It's an evolutionary process. Our moving bodies in existence with the greater ecology, as I remember to be in my ecology as I am speaking to you through this device. I also do some group work around white body supremacy, and it's very connected to the basis, everything, the foundation of the art and practice of movement facilitations, connected to my teacher's work in whole heart connection and her work in whole heart whiteness. I've been a mentor and an assistant with her, and I encourage you to think deeply about what it means, particularly as a white person, or maybe even someone who passes white, to come into the body process of working to transform and dismantle white body supremacy and the narratives and the trauma that we carry within ourselves and that continue to perpetuate this collective system, thing in the field, this evil that continues to roll forth, even in our good intentions. I love you, and I have been seeking to love myself in spite of the fears, the shame, the guilt, the pain, whatever it is from my ancestry or my own personal life. So I love you. I also know that our good intentions oftentimes can still be disruptful. There's a great podcast I'm listening to called Nice White Parents about the education system in an area in Brooklyn in New York, and the good intentions, misdirected, stemming from, again, this white supremacy, this white body supremacy that we all need to overcome. If you are a person that is Black or Asian or Mexican American, all of the myriad ways of being human that is not white, and are struggling with your own pain and trauma and whatever those words are, and you need help and support, there are facilitators of whole heart connection that are not white that offer workshops, and I believe that they are free. Yes, I'm pretty sure. So contact me if you are interested in doing more of that work. And I also am here to facilitate the art and practice of movement for anyone that is looking to go deeper into overcoming pain and overcoming stagnation in your life, overcoming not knowing what to do next, or overcoming your frustrations or fears with the political system, with the vote that's coming, with climate change. Because climate change actually begins in the body. Each one of us are a process of the atmosphere. Maybe you are an ally. Who knows? There are so many ways in which the art and practice of movement can facilitate you into creating openings in the constrictions, the fight or flight or freeze or annihilate is another version that we get into if we don't start activating these patterns of movement that open up spaces, release constriction, settle down into the good rest and digest of the parasympathetic nervous system, which I believe is all rooted in not only science, but the spirit and the spiritual, and making more space for the heart in the body. And I mean literally the pumping of the blood heart, and I mean the heart of being, the big love movement that I talk about. Some people call it God. the ground of being, the fabric of the universe, goddess, Earth Mother, just the movements of being in the ecology, that is where one finds this connection to something bigger and deeper. For today, I want to talk about 3 ways in which we have being in our bodies, body being. And the third, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. So the third way of being is when we wake up in the morning and that alarm goes off. Woo! We are hit with news. We might be hit with our child spilling milk on the floor. We might wake up with our knee hurting and we don't know why. So what are the things on the external levels? You may walk into a classroom or into a meeting and you had it all planned, all worked out. You knew exactly what you were doing. You were in control. Something hits and changes and shifts, and I'm practicing doing this session with my dog in the room today, responding and dancing with the dance partners that come your way. What are the shifting winds that are constantly changing on the outer level? And so if you want to practice this with me, it feels like your arms and your limbs and your feet. It's big and it's motion and it's movement and it's changing constantly. Every minute as the sun, the earth moves and the shadows and the light change, life is constantly changing. Your feelings, responses, body constricting, getting tense to the feelings, or relaxing and barking at the perceived threat, or the happiness. Yeah, so how do you move with your dance partners? All these different ones, even your adversaries. Woo! Hi, how do you respond? Even to those things that hit you and respond to you. How do you respond on the outer level? To life that brings you all kinds of things that you can't control. I'm a sailor, and you can have the best rigging, the best boat. You can understand the design and cut of your sails. But no matter how much you know about living in this life or sailing your boat of your life, you have to constantly make adjustments on the external, right? This is a puppy, even though she looks like a monster-sized dog. You constantly have to keep making no bite. Ooh, do you want to go outside? We're taking her outside. You constantly have to make adjustments to how you respond to your life, to how you respond to the externals that are coming at you from the moment you were born to the moment that you die. And it's shifting and changing, and you keep making adjustments. And then there's a second level of being. And that being is less about the movement of the arms and the limbs and the hands and big and changing and shifting, but it comes down into the core. Coming down into your core and sinking more deeply into your feelings and your healings, into your ancestors that you carry in your blood. And that movement is not quite as big and as shifty and as fast and as changing. It rolls and roils and rooms around inside in your blood, in your lungs, in your heart. This movement's a little different than the third level. The second level, maybe the first level, the third level is like being on the ocean and the waves and the wind and the changes. And the second level is coming down a little bit deeper. swimming with the sparkly fish, swimming with the sharks, the threats, and how you feel toward them. It is your fears, it is your sadness, it is the way in which you find happiness, what makes joy. It is who you were when you came into this life in this form. Finding that and exploring that and how you feel in your life each day. This is a practice that I ask you to consider. What does the external feel like? How does it move? The third level, and get down into the second level. How do you really feel in response to it? Try to find within it, where is the feelings? Where are they coming from? From your own life? From your ancestry? And how are they moving and changing and evolving and healing? And how can you respond to this movement to open up more space? And then sink a little bit lower into the first level being. And actually sit all the way down. Maybe even lay down, maybe lean against a wall. Maybe sit back against your chair. And sink down below the crazy shifting winds and waves of the surface, down below the sparkly fish and the sharks, and down deeper into the bedrock of your being, into the womb of creativity, into the womb in which you arose from, that you were before you became a Karen Stevens, whoever you are out there, before you became you, and I became me, and we became an I. We were part of something I like to call the big love movement, the creative womb of existence and of the ever unfolding, ongoing becoming of being. And it is a parasympathetic nervous system connection to come back into calming the body, into the body's ability to rest into creation, into the ground of being, into the big love movement that always has our back. Can you trust the ground you walk on? Can you feel your chair supporting you? Can you lean back into your bed at night when you go to sleep and actually let yourself be held? And can you touch this place inside your being before you became matter and form, and where you will go when your body becomes dust? Can you touch back into that place, the place that is all right? And there's not very much movement here. I like to think of the rigging on a sailboat, the places where a tiny bit of a shift, a tiny bit of adjustment, but it doesn't need pressure or tension. And if too much ego and too much trying to figure it out in our heads and too much working hard and striving or fleeing or running or freezing and constricting will cause that engineering, that structure of your bones in your being to break, to have pain, to not be able to move forward, to not be able to flow and let light and the joy and the peace come through, even in the midst of the sufferings and the transformational work that we are all called to throughout history as humanity. As humans, our responsibility is to become more human in ecology with the ground of being. Can you settle back into the earth, into your breath, into the little bits of movements that you need in the neck, and the shoulders, and the hips, and the knees, and the ankles, to let there be just enough flow to be grounded, immovable in your existence before time and after this time and in this body right